Let's rock, baby. Good morning, afternoon, evening, boys, girls, and those in between. My name is MegaAlexiel, and welcome to Let's Play Devil May Cry.
2 millenniums ago, there was a war between the human world and the other, the underworld. But somebody from the underworld woke up to justice and stood up against this legion alone. His name was Sparta. Later, he quietly reigned the human world and continued to preserve harmony until his death. He became a legend. The legendary Dark Knight, Sparta.
Well, there's your history lesson. Hope you remembered it. It will be on the test. The phone is ringing. Okay, I'll stop.
Devil May Cry. Sorry, we closed at 9. Again, no password. I can't seem to get any real business.
Whoa, slow down, babe.
Well,
Well,
what do
we
we
have
have
here. Nature calls. It's in the back.
So, you must be the handyman who'll take any dirty job. Am I correct?
Almost. I only take special jobs, if you know what I mean.
You're the man who lost a mother and a brother to evil 20 years ago. The son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta, Mr. Dante.
Well, the way I figure it, in this business a lot of your kind comes around. And if I kill each one that comes, eventually I should hit the jackpot sooner or later.
In that case, you should be used to this sort of thing.
Brutal.
Are you really the son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta? Didn't your daddy teach you how to use a sword?
Swords.
Time to go
Go to work, guys.
Even as a child, I had powers. There's demonic blood in me.
What strength?
You were the first one to know about my vengeance. Looks like I'm getting closer.
It seems that way, but I'm not your enemy. My name is Trish. I came here to seek your help, to put an end to the underworld.
What?
Dun dun!
"20 years ago, Mundus, the Emperor of the Underworld, resurrected.
Mundus?
Yes. His powers were sealed by Sparta. He's attempting to gain control of the human world once again. He has been preparing to open the gate on Malay Island. The castle is above this cliff. Come on, let's go! Ha!
Well, that was quite the introduction sequence. Anyways, hello once again, boys, girls, and those in between. I already did my intro at the beginning. But, welcome to Devil May Cry. It's been quite a while since we had just a regular old LP, huh? Devil May Cry is a character action beat 'em up with weapons by Capcom for the PlayStation 2. That's the version we're playing today. And it's a game that I have a lot of memories with. It's what got me into action games in general. And it's just a game that's overall really, really close to me. Throughout this LP, I'm basically going to be teaching you some cool trivia that I know, that others may have known. You are free to put your research in the comments, or things that I may not know, or things that I misrepresent. This is not going to be an in-depth walkthrough. This is not going to be 100%. This is just meant to be a return to form. So, if anything, you know what to expect. You've been to my streams. You know how I do things. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and do a quick rundown. Our controls are as follows. Since this is the first game in the series, some things are different. X, or square, is to shoot. Triangle is to jump. And circle is for your sword. Now, Devil May Cry is directed by Hideki Kamiya, who you may know as the Okami guy, the Beautiful Joe guy. And the combat for this game, fun fact, was thought up because of a glitch when playtesting Onimusha Warlords, where he was juggling an enemy. Anywho, you walk by that, you get a yellow orb. That's basically going to act like a fairy in a bottle when you die. You start with 3 by default. You also start with a Vital Heart, or Vital Star, excuse me. That is a rare stone that materializes energy. It is a health item. That will basically fill up your vitality, which is your health. You also start with an amulet. A memento of Dante's mother. In the back has an engraving, Virgil and Dante. Virgil is Dante's older brother, twin older brother. Unfortunately, as Trish said in the cutscene, Dante lost his mother and brother in an attack years ago. And the one responsible is a man by the name of Mundus, or a demon. So anyway, let's walk into the castle. Mission 1. Curse of the Bloody Puppets. Break the evil spell and open the cursed door. So, I'm gonna hit you with some development facts right off the bat. This is a well-known story at this point, but real quick, Red Orb. A red stone used to unlock new skills and doors. To acquire new skills, you must offer the stones to the God of Time. So, throughout the game, there are these things called divinity statues. And you can walk up to those and acquire upgrades. Upgrades to your health. You can buy items. You can upgrade further things when we get to that. For example, here's a door that requires a rusty key. And that red door over here the door is sealed shut. I need 45 red orbs to open it. So, yeah, about those development facts. This is a well-known story, but Devil May Cry actually started development as Resident Evil 4. And basically, so many things were added to the story and gameplay that Capcom basically said, just do your own thing. Or, well, the team decided to make their own thing, and that's exactly what they did. Devil May Cry 1, of course, became a smash hit almost overnight. And as we all know nowadays, it made subsequent sequels, spin-offs, mangas, animated series. At the time of this recording, the Netflix anime has not come out yet. So, you may have seen me do it a few times. Dante can hike up of a wall, and that will be used throughout the game to clear certain paths, get up to things. In fact, there's a thing over here. So, normally, you can't jump that gap. However, if you time a wall jump perfectly, I said if you time a wall jump perfectly, you can get up here and acquire your second blue orb fragment. Also known as the Fragment of Life, but it's only 1/4 of the whole piece. When it becomes whole, it will have the power to increase the vitality's maximum limit. Basically, think of these as a piece of heart from Zelda. So you got your gold orbs of fairies in a bottle, and you got your, well, yeah. It's been a while since I've done LPs proper, so you must forgive me. Every red orb drop like this counts as 5. So we are already at 45. Dante can jump across some gaps with a long jump that is automatic. And if I may come down here for just a second, there's this gold statue here. This statue must be the Watcher of Time. This god knows and remembers all of the past. The words of this god are engraved. Those who desire to acquire the ancient ways of war shall offer the blood of monsters in exchange. It's not responding. I'd better unseal the door underneath here first. So, once we do that, we are able to walk in here. And you may see these inconspicuous looking pieces of armor. If you slash this 4th one, or the 3rd one, you get your 3rd blue orb fragment. And unsealing doors, of course, take down our count. So I may need to point this out. By default, the game starts you on normal mode. If you die 5 times, it'll ask if you want to go to easy automatic. Basically, it's slightly easier, but it's not that much easier. Devil May Cry is a notoriously difficult game. Not difficult to, say, Ninja Gaiden, or people who aren't good at Dark Souls, but it's one of those games that it has a learning curve. And once we get into proper combat, I will show you what I mean. I can see the castle's garden from the window. So if you examine various objects, Dante will have something to say about them. And if we keep walking up here, it's a puppet that resembles the residents of this castle. There's also a door here. If you walk over here, there are 3 openings to insert something. We will need to come back here later, but if you jump over here, you will get your 4th blue orb fragment. You can easily miss this. Blue orb. The fragments have combined into one whole blue orb. The vitality's maximum limit will be increased. But there is one thing I forgot to show. So if you would forgive me for a second, I will meet you guys back to the main room. Okay, now that we're back in the main room, you may notice this giant statue here. instead of walking around the foyer, you can jump up here. I've never been able to get this first try. This is what's known as a red orb cache. We got 120 orbs instantly, just by standing here. There's a couple of those around the game. I don't know where they all are, but that's the one that I know for a fact of the location. Anyway, I will meet you back in the room where we're supposed to be. Okay, and we're back. Now that we're back in this room, you may see a little thing up there. You walk by it, little cutscene will play indicating, hey, there's a thing up there. But there's also things back here. More armor. They don't have anything. In fact, this whole castle is kind of a mess. Speaking of a mess... Sorry, there was a bug on the wall. Hello, red orb. I'll take you. Yep, don't fall down there, Dante. There's some more red orb right here, and I believe you can... I think you can examine this. All these books list prisoners and their bail amounts. The room must have been used to hold high-ranking officers. Captive during times of war. How interesting. Can't examine this one. That door is off limits, but this one puppet has something. Rusty key. The key is rusted, but it should still work. Oh, trust me, I have a house key that's like incredibly rusty. But that wasn't just an ordinary puppet. The puppet's alive! And game time. So, you can lock onto an enemy by pressing R1. You can press X or square, as I mentioned earlier, to attack. You can juggle enemies by holding back and holding circle like this. And next to our health bar, we have a little action gauge, or stylish meter. Basically, the better your style ranking, the more rewards you get at the end of a mission. It also yields you crazy rewards. By jumping and pressing circle, or whatever you have your default set to, you can do what's called a helm splitter. Devil May Cry isn't just some lock-on button mash kind of game. Devil May Cry has combo strings. So by pressing 1, 2, 3, you got your standard 3-hit combo. But if you delay it, you can do other moves. Yeah, if you press R1 and hold circle while holding back on the control stick, you can do an uppercut of sorts. But if you go back in here, the enemies are alive again. It's usually just a 1-2 punch. By dodging and holding left or right, or back or forward, Dante will dodge. Now, just a heads up, using health items will decrease your style ranking at the end of a mission. So, if you want to get an S rank, which stands for style, then you would need to not use items. Hi, VTuberEN here with a very quick editorial note. So, yes, while it is true that items do detract from your end of mission bonus when it comes to red orbs, it's not too big of a loss. I still highly recommend using items if you need to, obviously, but the game does encourage that you go without using them. It's kind of just a glorified get good scrub kind of mechanic, if you know what I mean. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled shenanigans. Also, hope you're enjoying the video so far. Please consider leaving a like. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, for real, back to the video. I'm sure past me is getting his butt kicked right now. Do excuse me though, I am a little rusty. It's been a good while since I've last played this game. But enemies will also respawn. But this isn't what they only are. If you go back up here, that one that originally attacked us before is up here. Also, it's kind of weird that puppets have blood, but I guess it's, you know, demonic possession. So, I guess that might mean something. Okay, there's not one here. Hey. Yeah, you can also jump off enemies. So yeah, pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention in combat, and you'll be fine. Enemies can also block and sometimes parry your attacks, so heads up on that. But also, combat isn't too ungenerous, because sometimes when you kill enemies, you'll get a green orb, which basically does the same as a health drop. But if you walk down here, which is where we're supposed to go, we are ambushed by blue puppets. Puppets come in many different shapes and sizes. There's green, red, and blue. They vary in typing. In fact, some of them have weapons, like these ones have little saw blades, for example, or cleavers. Some would even have ranged weapons, like knives, or, God forbid, a gun. But it's okay, we have guns too. A heavy iron lattice gate is lowered. It appears that this iron lattice gate will have to be raised in order to get out of this old castle. That's great. So, you can definitely tell that the game started as Resident Evil 4 because of the camera angles. In fact, one of the many complaints Devil May Cry 1 has is how clunky and weird the camera can be. Sometimes the camera will trap you, and it's unfortunate, but it's not all too bad. Anyway, we can come in here. More suits of armor. And more things to destroy. But there's also some puppets hanging around this plane. You can, of course, if it'll let me, you can, of course, I said, you can, of course, I said, you can, of course, jump on said plane to get your 5th blue orb fragment. And we got like a little sigil, it seems. And we got ourselves a little arena. So yeah, these puppets have throwing knives. That's cool. So, the quickest way to deal with enemies is the 3-hit combo or a helm splitter. So you may see me do that a lot. Though, since we're just starting out, our combo potential is not too up there. In fact, we have the same combo strings throughout the whole game. juggle them. So the backing track, which is basically the battle theme, this is called Public Enemy Number 1, which is one of my favorite battle themes in any action game. I'm boring like that. Now, you don't have to lock onto enemies all the time, but it's helpful for some attacks. But after you fight enough enemies, you're able to leave. You don't really get anything for coming down here, unless you just want extra enemies to fight, and or some extra orbs for money. But of course, the moment we come back up here, the puppets are alive. I thought I could dodge you. Enemies hitting you, of course, will reset your style ranking, or style meter, excuse me. So, try not to get hit if you can help it. Oh, but some enemies, or some puppets, can hoist you up by bloody strings, and it's not pretty. Now, to shoot, you have to lock on. And if you're like me and your hand gets tired easily, it can be difficult. But once you do that, the door is unlocked. And now we can leave. And that is the end of Mission 1. So, our run here took about 19 minutes, 39 seconds. Not bad. If you're a first-time player, this will take you longer as you're getting the bearings of the controls and all that. Some players may die their first time around. In fact, I almost died, so I'm not perfect. But you still get a ranking. Depending on your ranking bonus will depend on how many red orbs you get. And we've collected 376 in total. But I think that's all the time I have here for this video. So, if you're glad that I'm back to doing LPs and all that, please consider dropping a like, commenting down below. Let me know your thoughts on this game. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I've been MegaAlexiel, signing out. Ciao.